All right, 3, 2, 1, let's get it. You know, habits alone are not going to make you successful because, there are good habits, and we always talk about building good habits like it's the ultimate answer. But the truth is, habits are neutral because there are good habits, and then there are what I call tendencies. And tendencies are the bad habits. These are the things that you default to when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're angry, or you're just off track. And most people, they don't talk about that. I live by a daily core 6. And these are 6 things that I do every single day that keeps me on the road. But just being on the road doesn't mean that I'm going to reach my ultimate destination. It's how I travel that determines everything. And this is where the power of Metaskills comes in. Habits are what you do. Metaskills are how you grow through what you do. Metaskills help you learn faster, adapt quicker, solve harder problems, and stay relevant in a changing world. And so when you develop the Metaskills, this is what's going to make you RFA, ready for anything. Do you know everything? No. Are you ready for anything? Just depends on how well that you consciously develop the Metaskills. Just with habits alone, you're just checking the boxes. And I talk about that a lot. Check the box. Checking the box is necessary. It prevents me from having to negotiate with myself because I know me. If I enter into negotiations with myself, I'm going to lose every single time. So checking the box is good. This is what gets you on the road. That's your habits. That's the road. But it would be like me getting on I-10 and just getting on the road just to get on the road's sake. And that's why people talk about developing good habits. They're talking about getting on the road, but there's no clear-cut destination. Like you're just driving just to drive. And this is why people who just talk about developing habits and work habits without the Metaskills, this is why people run out of gas. They burn out. They quit. They're frustrated. Things aren't working because you developed habits, but you didn't develop the Metaskills within those habits. That's a totally different game changer there. So think about it like this. If you're working with Excel or Google Sheets, okay, that's a skill. All right, you can learn the skill. Learning how to adopt and adapt to new software, new technologies that come out, that's a Metaskill. If life is a game, then Metaskills are your cheat codes to life. You want the cheat codes? It's through the Metaskills. Metaskills make sure that you can keep up and keep growing as everything else does too. Keep learning, keep growing, keep adapting as everything else comes up too. The people that are standing around bitching about everything, wish things would stay the same. They're like Han Solo frozen in a block of ice on Star Wars. I don't remember which one that was. Wasn't it a block of ice or something? And it's like that's what it is. I mean, people, they develop some skills, but then see technology and efficiencies in the world at large just kept changing. And they're like Han Solo stuck in the ice with their 1972 skills that they got from Anywhere University. I mean, that's where they are. And this is why they're stuck. I mean, think about the Aristotle quote. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. But this is where people miss the whole point. It's not about the habit itself. It's about what you develop, the Metaskills within the habit. So now when we're talking about Metaskills and you see that Aristotle quote, people chase the habit part and you're totally getting it wrong. It's the Metaskills, which you do, the development of those Metaskills. This is the thing that's going to make you elite and forever relevant in this ever-changing world. Habits are what you think. Okay, I can tell you what my habits are. I can send you my daily core 6. Send that to you for free. That's what to think. How to think is the Metaskills. That's where you adopt it for your own and you learn the Metaskills within those habits. This is what's going to take you to the next level. Promise you. So what are the Metaskills? They all start with the letter C. And the beautiful thing about these Metaskills is they evolve. They grow right alongside of you the more you work them. But also the less you work them, they will erode too. They don't just, it ain't set it and forget it. It's like a muscle. You got to work these skills, these meta skills, every single day. First one is communication. How you talk to yourself, how you communicate with yourself is what you're communicating with the world. This is how you persuade. This is how you empathize. This is how you influence. Communication are the values. Values are what you stand for. Principles are how you govern what you stand for. It's how you operate within those things. So the better you get at communicating, number one, with yourself, that's going to give you or put you in a position of strength to have a full-bodied life. Faith, family, fitness, finances, fulfillment. They all start with communication. Another meta skill is curiosity. This is your figure it out muscle. Life doesn't come with instructions. There's not a play-by-play. The answers are in the questions that you ask. And initially, some of your questions are going to be shallow. But curiosity is a muscle. The more you use it, the deeper it becomes. So, whenever you're just about to make a judgment, a statement, stop, rephrase it into a question. Get an understanding from the other side, from someone else. Don't be a know-it-all, be a know-at-all. I don't know at all. Tell me about that. Even though I have prejudices or opinions or judgments or experience, freeze that, form it into a question. This will begin to open up, crack open, because some of these lids of curiosity have been closed a long time. You'd be amazed how many statements you make throughout a day versus wonder, awe, questions. That's how you get a full body life. And the more you do this, they will open you back up and start planting new seeds of growth. And then this just becomes a meta skill that you just continue to develop. And you're no longer just reacting to everything. People react because they make a judgment based on what they see and they rock off of that. They do something reactionary out of that versus they see the same circumstance but with curiosity, they ask a question or questions. And this way, this gives them the ability to respond and be patient. Patience is within that communication and curiosity. It's all layered within all of these, actually, because patience is the expectation that there's going to be trouble. There's going to be blind sides. There's going to be embarrassments. But I stay even keeled because this one action doesn't define my whole life. Okay? The third meta skill is your creativity. Be resourceful when you lack the resources. Instead of bitching about what you don't have, okay, use your curiosity and your communication meta skills to help be creative. I mean, think about it back in the days when you were a kid. The pine straw house that you made was the best thing ever. You were so proud of it. You used creativity and you stayed out in the yard all day long. The tree house that you built out of the lumber in your pawpaw's shed, he didn't take you to Home Depot. Hell, they didn't have Home Depot. If you're my age, they didn't take you to no lumber supply store with a list of lumber and nails. No. You pulled old nails out of boards and you straightened them out and then you reused them. That's that creativity. Start with what you have. Start with free. Earn what you need through the experience. Develop what you want. Okay, that's pro level. But, man, you got to put in hundreds and thousands of reps and hours. You'll develop it along the way. It'll come organically. And then fourth Metaskill, continuous learning in action. It's not enough to learn, it's how you apply it as well. This is the rhythm that I live by every single day. So as you know, I do random reading. I pick a book off the shelf every single morning and I read 15, 20 minutes. And then I try to write about what I just read. And that writing aspect, my takeaways, without looking back at it, I just developed that skill. And it's a crazy thing, man. You'll learn something, you'll write about it so you can develop it, you'll share it. That's part of my daily core 6. I share it not only to be of value to you, but I share it also. Everything I'm sharing, I'm learning also as well. I'm learning right along with you. And if I can share it clearly and concisely, then I can learn it deeper. So, it's really a cheat code for me. I love to share, but there's so many benefits that I get if nobody listens to these episodes. The fact that I got to share it and learn it deeper and can clearly communicate that and write with curiosity and creativity, that's a metaskill. And these cross-pollinate across every area of your life. Fitness, your faith, your fitness, your faith, your family, your fitness, your finances, your fulfillment. Got to say it in order so I can just rail it out. And so what's crazy, man, you'll write about these things. And then the crazy thing is you'll come across that very same thing that you just read about and wrote about today. Then all of a sudden it happens in real time. It happens in life. And it's like so coincidental. I think coincidences are God's way of showing you that he's listening. I really do. But you won't have coincidences if you're not developing metaskills. And then the last one's productive confrontation. Confrontation's key, man. You got to confront some things in your life. You got to face some things head on. You got to get in some head-on collisions in your life. Now, look, there's some confrontations, too, that need to be addressed. There are some boundaries that you need to set with people. There are some things that you need to address with people. I'm not talking about pop people in the mouth, okay? I'm not talking about telling them to F off. I'm not talking about that at all. But you probably in the development of this, you'll blow things up. You got to be a disaster before you become the master. And so developing your confrontation muscle, you're going to mess things up. You're going to screw things up. You're going to say things wrong that just take it to a whole nother level. You're like, and this is why people avoid confrontation, because they're just like, well, that didn't go well. That didn't go as planned. That went over like a lead balloon. Okay. And then we just shy away from it. This is why I'm so fortunate that the overlaps that I have in life and are in sales. In sales, you have to confront customers. There are customers that call you pissed off. They come with a head full of steam, and you have to work through those things. You got to problem solve. You got to communicate with them. So I get to develop my communication, my curiosity, my creativity, my continuous learning and action, staying open-minded, and confrontation. This is how these Metaskills came about. I was at rock bottom 2017. I had to rebuild my life because I blew it completely up, and I was at the border of just ending it all. And so I said, well, what are the skills? Because the only thing I'm good at is sales. Well, what skills have made me good in sales? Communication. What else? Curiosity. What else? Creativity. Because I don't always have the thing in stock, or I have to switch them to something else because this is just too expensive for them. What else? Well, new product comes out, so I got to be a continuous learner, and then I have to apply it to the next customer. So I have to just continuously evolve. I said, man, if people are going to meet me, they're going to say, man, he's not like any other salesperson. He knows his shit. Okay, so continuous learning, and then action, and then confrontation. Got to confront customers. I'm just shopping today. Today's my first. Give me your best price. Don't push me. I got to confront. I got to go in. I got to push myself to be persistent with them, and they appreciate it. A lot of times, the last thing that don't push me customer, and they're walking out with their paperwork for their new vehicle, you know what they tell me? Thank you. What they're saying is thanks for staying with me, man. Thanks for being persistent. So all of this to say, this is the ecosystem of my OYP lifestyle, my outwork your potential. Potential is what you could, should, but you ain't. Okay, so I want to outwork my potential. Okay, that's what I want to do. And so I want to just exceed. I want to get in front of God at the end, and he's like, bro, I had this laid out for you, but you actually, and I think he's going to call me bro, I had all this outlined for you, man. You exceeded that. And it's in the right way, man. I didn't have to step on anybody or backstab anybody or get over on somebody or alienate my family or just abandon my faith. I probably wouldn't be talking to him if I abandoned my faith. But, I didn't have to do any of that. It's all part. And so this is what I live by. And this is the journal that not only I live by, and this is what I coach my clients with. They get this and they begin to work out of this journal. So the journal lets me track not only the daily core 6, but also the Metaskills, the development. I can track the development of those Metaskills. My podcast is like a live journal for me. I can track the Metaskills. If you go back to 2017 and listen to old episodes versus new episodes that I'm giving to you now, hopefully there's a difference. Hopefully it's more clear and concise. Hopefully you get something more from it. It's not that the other messages were irrelevant. Some days I just want to bring some of those messages back, but in a new way because I'm in a different season of my life. But that's how I outwork my potential every single day. And I just win the day. When it all unfolds is not up to me. What I do and how I do it is completely up to me and you. So the journal grows with me or shrinks with me. Okay? And it's no judgment. It's just I can see where I get off track. I can see right then and there. And I can go back and look at it and be like, oh, here was the turning point. What were the things that led up to where I'm at right now? I can go back. I can look at those things. So let's wrap this up, man. Get your habits right. But habits alone aren't going to make you successful. You got to develop the meta skills within those habits. This is the compounding factor of your effort. Your effort, this is key. Your effort is, the habits that you do. If you want to compound exponentially, this is the meta skills that you develop within that. And this is what keeps you relevant and makes you ready for anything. So I'll leave you with this. All right, here we go. Habits are the foundation. Meta skills are the upgrade. Boom. I mean, just stop right there. Post that. Put that on your wall on social media. Tag me in it, I'll show you love. But for God's sakes, just sear that into your soul. Habits are the foundation. Meta skills of communication, curiosity, creativity, continuous learning and action, and productive confrontation. Bro, that's the upgrade. It's time to upgrade. All right, let's get out of here. Share this episode with one person who needs it. Remember, keep it simple, keep it moving, never settle, stay tough. Peace.